Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a disassembly and reassembly of a Smith and Wesson 422. I have chosen this pistol right now to disassemble and reassembly because all of the videos I've seen have been rather dated, and I'd like to see a better resolution of this one, so I'm sure that other people in the future or current would also like to see better resolution disassembly videos of certain firearms. And so we'll get started. First, I'm going to take off my suppressor. And that's one of the reasons why I really love this pistol, is because this one's such a great suppressor host. And this is a Griffin Armament 22, Resistance 22, which has worked flawlessly. The two magazines that you'll see with these are the 10 rounders and the 12 rounders. The difference visually will be the color of the follower. The orange ones were the original 80s, 90s pre-ban 12 round followers. Might be able to see that right there. And then the three that I have this base extension protector thing. I don't know if that's on all of them, but on the 10 rounds, it will say 10 rounds, decent quality magazines. I haven't had any issues with these magazines, and I've shot it at a Steel Challenge competition in Tallahassee, Florida, and the only thing that I didn't like in that competition with this pistol was my grip placement is right where the chamber is. So my thumb got really hot because that's where my thumb was. So if you plan on shooting this for any duration, just keep in mind your hand placement, because your chamber is here and here. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is make sure it's clear, so we don't get yelled at by all of the professionals. There is no brass, trash, or live ammunition, sir. Alright. And I have another video to go in depth with field strip, so I'm not going to go too painstakingly slow with this field strip. But you need the tool first, which is this. I'll lock the slide open, put the brass casing in its place. Lift up on the tab, pull back on the slide, pull back on the recoil spring and rod, pull it out. Your slide will come right off. And that's basically field strip for this guy. You can twist the spring off. You're going to go against so it loosens, or you can pull straight off if you want to do it that way. And then it's best to remember the direction this came off on, because it's going to go the same direction it goes back on. And this is the slide. I won't get into disassembly of the slide because I don't want to lose all those little parts. But we will go into the receiver. So the first thing we're going to need is a screwdriver. Take off the grip panels. I did make this video probably last year. However, I used my old camera, which did not have the resolution this camera has. So I decided to remake it before I posted it. unscrew the 2 screws, lift straight up on the grip, let's flip her over, repeat the process. Lift straight up on the grip, put to the side. And now we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Alright, so for the barrel, I'm going to call it the barrel nut, we're going to need an Allen wrench. The original barrel nut also required an Allen wrench. This is an aftermarket, I believe, from EGW for suppressor. Let's see. It will be standard. And it's going to be a 1/4 inch standard. Just unscrew, righty tighty, lefty loosey, and as you see, the barrel is going to move. But you won't be able to take the barrel out yet. There you go. And since I have this, I took out the spring with the regular barrel nut. When you install one of these, they recommend you to remove the spring. I'll put that to the side. Alright, now we're going to take off the grip panel. And there's 3 screws. And they're quite small, so don't lose them. Alright, those 3. Now we also have to take off all of this stuff because all of that is also holding on that grip panel. So the first thing I do is hopefully not launch this spring, which is on your slide stop. I push down and unhook it from what it is hooked on. Or not. It might be easier to go from the bottom. So it hooks here and there. You want that pretty well out of the way. Now we want to push this plate so it lines up with that hole. Sometimes you gotta give it a little unlock this plate here from the frame, push down. Lines up with that hole. Alright, so this piece right here is held to the other side by a C-clip on this side. So what we're going to do is take off this spring and unclip this C-clip. Taking off that spring, and then the C-clip, I use a broader screwdriver and and get at the feet of the C-clip so it's nice and loose, and you can use a pick and get it at the edge and pull out gently. That's what you're looking for. Put that with the spring so we don't lose it. Now we're going to flip it over, and we can pull this assembly straight out. What happens is this is your slide stop, well, part of your slide stop. This is also part of your slide stop, but it also fits inside of this piece right here. It'll fit in there like that. So that's how we have to put it back together. All right. Now we get to take everything else out. Everything else is just lifting straight up. Now we should be able to lift up on our frame or the grip panel. There you are. Empty grip panel on this one. Now what we're looking at is the hammer. The sear is right here. Hammer spring down at the bottom. And then your trigger. Trigger spring. And then your trigger retaining pin. Take this out. It's pretty easy. Also, your magazine catch is connected to your trigger return spring. So this is your mag catch is at the front of your grip right here, and there's your mag release, and then it's connected. What we can do is pull this pin at the top, lift it straight up, spring falls out. If you want to take out your mag catch, if you have to take out your mag catch, you push this pin. I'm not going to do it just because there's really no need to. You push that pin out and it just falls right out. Now the spring, the hammer spring is under tension, the hammer is under tension, and then your sear is right here. Just push on the back of your sear, and then this is your sear spring right here, and that will be a different piece of your hammer as well. So we can take out your sear. We're going to put a little pressure on the sear spring, lift straight up on the sear. And that time the sear pin also came out with it. And then this will be captured by a little leg. That little leg inside the frame. Now the fun part of getting your hammer out, and your hammer strut and your hammer spring. If you've noticed, your hammer strut goes all the way down, kind of like a SIG 360 or the SIG 322 goes through the grip, except in the SIG it stays in the grip. So with this, you can control in the hammer strut right there. You can put something there, like a pin of sorts, but you're going to need 3 arms to do such a thing. and it will pinch the spring. That's way too big. Let's see. And it should hold the spring in place. So I put a paper clip in its place, and now I should be able to lift the receiver, and then the retaining pin on the opposite side falls through. So now my hammer strut, and hammer spring are all one piece. You can push that pin and your hammer will separate. You can take this out and then your spring will shoot away, but I'm going to keep it like that because it's going to be easier for me to reinstall. And last thing, your barrel pulls straight out. I'll also include some still shots of what the internals of this looks like for reassembly. So if you want to pause it at certain points, I'll have high resolution pictures of what it's supposed to look like as well. All right, and then look for part 2 for reassembly.